Hello, and welcome to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe here. Today, I'm going to talk about expanding Congress. Everyone's talking about expanding the Supreme Court. I'm going to talk about that one later on. This one seemed to be popping up, and I was kind of curious myself, so I started poking around and to see really where we were and where we are today. I've run many congressional races, and I can tell you the universe is huge, right? We're looking at when we started Congress, right? We had about 200,000 people. I mean, last time we expanded Congress, about 200,000 people per congressional district, right? In 1929. That's that little arrow right there in the center. Since then, population's grown, country's bigger. I mean, that's going to happen. So we're over 760,000 per congressional district, and by 2040 we're looking to break 800,000. Now the problem is we're a representative government. People need to be able to represent, feel like they're heard from their leadership can hear them. So one of the things that's been thrown around is what would it look like if we expanded Congress, uh, so that we could get, I don't know if we could get it back down to 250,000. 250,000 would be a good universe of population. Be solid. Reduce the cost of congressional races, that's for sure. So just thought we'd look at some of the pros and cons and kind of go from there. Let's see where we're at when it comes to House seats by region. So the South, as you can see by this graph, by the 2030s, it's growing. The southern states are growing. Yeah, Texas, you got Florida. Those are the big ones, right? You got the Northeast. They're projected to shrink. The Midwest is also projected to shrink. The mountain, technically grows, but they're so small. I mean, if anyone's driven across the country, remember all that area where you didn't see anybody? Yeah, that's mountain. And then you got the West. And the West has, it's got California and is pretty stable and will grow. But, it's because it's got California. If California was its own state, I think it'd be the sixth largest economy on the planet. So, not going anywhere. So, that's kind of the look at where we're headed. So, some of the what we can expect by 2030 as far as where seats are going to move. Well, you can see Texas is looking to pick up at least 4 by 2030. You've got Florida picking up 3. And you've got the other southern states picking up 2 and 1. And then you've the states that are going to be losing are going to be Michigan and a few of those other states, Illinois. So New York will be losing quite a few seats, and and California will be losing seats. So it's you can see that that's the projected migratory pattern. Now, with global warming and hurricanes and things, plus Florida's got all sorts of problems. Let's be clear. I doubt this is taking into consideration that just in the last few years, insuring your home has quintupled, rent has tripled in Florida. I mean, Florida's got problems. Texas also has problems. Most of the teachers in Houston left yesterday, so not sure that that this map is taking everything into consideration. But if things continue on the trajectory it's on, this is where they say we're going to be. We'll see about that. So what are some of the benefits? So we're looking at we'll have better constituency services. It won't be 800,000 people calling the congressional member. It'll be fewer. So you're going to be the time of the staff will be divided up less. We'll have better coordination between states and municipals and federal offices because they're going to overlap a lot more evenly. We'll moderate, well, my favorite part of this is that it's going to moderate the gerrymandering problem. Yes, technically they could start making itty bitty squiggly lines and stuff, but logistically that's going to be hard. And I think that eventually the voters are just going to push. Um, the districts, the way they're gerrymandered now, aren't great. But if you have smaller districts, it's going to be harder to gerrymander, and it will dilute some of that. Uh, and by doing all of these things, you'll have a more responsive government. The cost of our government will go up by 1%. That's a hindrance. Honestly, if Congress worked better, it's currently at an approval rating around 13%. I'd pay 1% to double that to 26%. I mean, if they were just better at their jobs, it would be awesome. The number of votes required would go up for to pass anything in the House. But like I said, because gerrymandering would be moderated, it's more likely that there will be a good majority where things will actually go up. Number of campaigns will increase. The number of campaigns will increase, yes, but it's all local. So it's not like you're going to see 19 congressional races. You're going to see the congressional race in your district. The amount of money spent will increase in some places, yes. In some places, it'll stay the same or go down. And it's simply because the contested races will be in the urban suburban areas, which is where they're at right now. And that's where they're spending their money anyway. Uh, and then, of course, logistical expenses will be involved. But, I think it's okay if we got a bigger room for Congress to meet in. I think that's something that real estate is not a reason to have bad government, flat out. So yeah, enlarging the House would reduce the over-representation of small states. So how that will work is that, so we've got states with nobody in them, right? But they're, they'll have maybe 1 million people. So let's say we got it down to 250,000 per district. So now we've got, a state with 1 million people, and it would have 4 congressional seats. That's fine. It's probably up from what they've got. Well, it would be up from what they've got now. They probably have 2. But another state that has 37 million people would then have 120 representatives, as opposed to the 30 or 40 they've got now. So it really does make the populations in the states that have population, they just get better representation. They also represent a much larger part of the economy. They represent a lot more voters. At the end of the day, we're all one country anyway. So there's a lot to it. Is there a constitutional amendment necessary? Absolutely not. The size of the House is set by the statute, so it's a vote by Congress, and that's it. And we're good. So don't even need to mess with the Constitution. So anyway, that's my quick and dirty on the expanding Congress. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I'd like to remind everybody that we've got the convention next week. This video is going out on Friday, which would be this day that it's on, the 17th. So we've got the convention all next week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind everybody all next week. I'm going to have a video going out at noon every day. And what's going to happen is we're going to have a review of what happened the day before. So nothing will have happened by noon on Monday. So I'm going to talk about what we can expect. And then Tuesday, I'll talk about Monday, Wednesday, and it'll go forward like that. And then on Friday, which we don't have a convention because Thursday is the last day of the convention, we'll have a big review and maybe I'll have some new and interesting polling data. But then, that whole next week's going to be nothing but post-convention polling. So maybe what I'll do on Friday is I'll show you guys where we're at. And then Monday, Tuesday, we'll be able to see some numbers move around. And we can talk about what that looks like. But anyway, Just thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. The channel's on PayPal. It's CLSP Politics. Really appreciate everyone watching. The comments are great. My subscriber numbers keep going up. We just broke 2,600, so that's huge for me. I'm a small channel, so that's a big deal for me. Feel free to share this with your friends and ask them, please subscribe. And we'll just keep on getting this work done. You have a good one.